Hey guys, Martin here. It's time for another edition of We're Still Here. This is, I think, the 10th. I could be wrong. Uh, which is I'm very glad that it's been going as long as it has, and that so many of you are still watching. I honestly, I wouldn't blame some of you for not watching every video, and I wouldn't blame some of you for watching a couple and then feeling that you've gotten everything out of it that you can get out of it. Because it's one of those shows where I understand that obviously I'm going to be repeating a lot of information, and not everything applies to everybody. Obviously, depression is a very wide-reaching thing, and it's not something that can be pinpointed down to one symptom. It's something that affects a lot of people in a lot of different ways, and I'm sure a lot of you aren't having the exact same experience I am, but at the same time, hearing about any experience that may be similar is I believe, helpful. It's certainly helped me. Some people have come up to me and asked, when do you think you'll stop doing We're Still Here? And obviously, I don't intend to stop doing it. I don't think it's something that I can rightly stop doing because there isn't like an ending to this. There isn't like a point where, even if I get better, that doesn't mean the show's over. That doesn't mean that I don't think it's worth doing. It just means that it helped me, and I'd like it to keep helping other people. But I realize, when people ask me that, there's only so much information I can give, and there's only so much I can say. And I'm sure I'm going to end up repeating myself a lot over the course of the series. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think that's necessarily a flaw. I don't think it's even necessarily, I think it might even be a plus. Because if I'm repeating myself and you're hearing the same information multiple times, that's part of healing, to reaffirm something about yourself and about each other. Ideally positive stuff. I don't want to keep giving you like miserable stories and information that doesn't help. But yeah, I don't see the show ending ever if I can help it, because I want to keep going. I want to keep letting you guys know that I'm still here and that you're still here, and I'm proud of you for sticking with it. Even if you've been watching for the last 10 weeks and you might need to keep watching for another year or more if you're dealing with what you're dealing with, and that's awful, and I'm sorry if that's the case, but that's why it's important to me to keep going, because it's not something that is as temporary as you'd like it to be. It's not something that, after a 12-week course, it's gone. I'd love it to be that, but it's not. So yeah, this is going to be an ongoing thing, and I do apologize in advance if a lot of the stuff I say is repeated, but I hope you understand that it's kind of part of it. So yeah. Alcon is the first convention I ever went to as an official guest. I'd been to conventions before. I think I talked about the first convention I went to, Mystery Science Theater 3000. I think the Gateway Con in St. Louis. Have I talked about that? Oh gosh, I'm going to have to go back and look. Where I met the cast and crew of MST3K, and Mike Nelson in particular. That was the first time I ever went to any kind of con, but the first time I went as a guest, as like an official part of the proceedings, was Alcon in Leicester in the UK, and it's become kind of my home convention. It's not just because it's in England, but I guess partially because it was the first one I went to as a guest. I often credit Youmacon as being the first one, because that was like the first overseas one where there was like a big hullabaloo, because Alcon is great, but it's a much more, I don't know the right word, it's a much more downplayed con. It's a much more chill atmosphere. It's just like 1,000 people or so, and we're just hanging out on a university campus, and it's relatively easygoing, whereas Youmacon is very much all guns blazing. Things are happening all the time. We have to rush to this next panel and all that. We're very busy at Youmacon. Very little time to do the chilling out thing. Whereas Alcon is almost all, let's chill out and just have a good time. Alcon, I've been going to for the past... Let me figure it out. I started going in 2009? Yes. So 9, and I think 6. No, yes, 6 times, 6 years in a row I've been going, and it's been one of my favorite experiences, like in general, not just because of the whole convention thing, and not even because I'm a guest. Because here's the thing: when you're a guest at a con, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're being treated like a celebrity, or that you're being treated to everything you've ever wanted, and that you're being given all these things. I'm sure for some people it's like that, but it's not like that for me, especially at Alcon. And I don't mind that. That's kind of better for me. I don't like being doted on. I don't like being a problem for. I don't like making trouble for other people, and being high maintenance. I like to just do my thing, and everybody else can worry about their thing. But at Alcon, it just feels like I'm just a regular attendee, and I'm really happy about that. Because aside from the fact that I do panels there, and I'm occasionally on a stage, I really don't feel any different from anybody else there. And at some cons, it's hard to remember that, unfortunately, just because of the way the thing is set up. I did a convention in Australia and New Zealand where they would not let me go out on the show floor and even just talk to the fans or anything. I had to do very specific things in a very strict schedule, and I really hated that. But I didn't hate the experience. I just hated that aspect of it. It was actually a great time, but I just wish I could have, looked around and seen cosplayers and talked to people. But Alcon, I've always been able to just sort of be myself, and it's a much more comfortable feeling for me. The first year I went, I had a friend with me. I had Whitehash with me, and the second year, I believe Marsico X from Team 4-Star and X the Dark One and Shady Vox were there, I believe. I could be wrong about that. I could be getting the year mixed up, but I think that's right. But I've been going every year since, and one of the reasons I love it is because... What's up, Mozzarella? Why do you love it? You coming in? You want to tell me about Alcon? Come here. Say hello, everybody. Say hello to Say hello, Mozzarella. You don't seem that impressed. You're on the internet. Okay. One of the reasons I love it so much is that I have so many close friends there that I've really bonded with over the years. I go to a lot of different conventions in a lot of different areas, and I tend to see the same people, but it's often so sporadic, and it's often hard to know when I'm coming back, that it's hard to really make firm friendships. Whereas in England, in Alcon, there's a connection I have with those guys. X the Dark One goes every year. Falero goes every year. Marsico goes every year. Tracy, X's fiance, goes every year. Just a huge... I wish I could... I'm missing Legina, Frobman, so many people. I'm Hosagi. I'm just trying to list as many names as I can, because I know I'm forgetting a bunch of people, right? Yeah. I'm sorry. I'll try better next time. But I've had a lot of really amazing experiences there, and I always look forward to seeing my friends there. I've always said the convention is as good as the people you're with, especially if you're an attendee. I believe that more than anything. But even as a guest, if you have friends with you, if you know the people who are on the guest list, the convention is a lot more enjoyable if you're familiar with people. And I'm so intimately familiar with everybody at Alcon that it's like going home. It's like going home every year, and I look forward to it so much. And the year I moved out to America, I honestly expected to never be able to come back to Alcon, and that was, like, at the time, it was heartbreaking for me. But every year since then, they've still had me back. It's very emotional. They've still had me back, and it blows my mind that they would care and put the time and effort and money into just having me back to this relatively small show in England, and it means the world to me, because honestly, it's the show that has possibly the most emotional investment for me. Oh, and you too? Why do you care about it? You don't even go. No. But honestly, if I if I ever do have to miss a year, and unfortunately I'm going back again this year, even though I thought I wasn't going to be back this year. Every year I say, this is probably my last year, but this time I'm going back again in 2015, and maybe next year I'm not going to be able to go. It's possible, it's highly probable, just because there's very few conventions that'll have you out 7 years in a row, you know? And why should they? You're rubbing up against the mic now, you pillock. You're going to make this sound weird. If I ever wasn't able to go, and if I'm not able to go next time, it'll be hard for me. But, you know, at the end of the day, the reason I enjoy the con so much is the people, and the people will still be there, and the people will always be there. And even if the convention were to be cancelled, I'm sure I'd still have the experience available, just because my friends are always going to be able to hang out with me and support me. And, you know, at the end of the day, that's all that matters to me, is that I get to see them and let them know that I love them. To get onto a less heavy subject, at Alcon, Alcon was the first time I ever got really, really drunk. I was cosplaying Naruto, because I did that occasionally back in the day. I would cosplay Naruto just to sort of troll people, because obviously I'm known for being the Yu-Gi-Oh guy, but I would cosplay Naruto and walk around doing the raspy voice and smoking a fake cigarette. And I was cosplaying him, and we went out to a meal at a Japanese place, and I hadn't had sake before, and my good friend X decided to tease me by having me down it like shots. I don't know if he really believed that's how you drink it, but that's how I drank it, and it got to the point where I was very, very drunk. And it could have been very dangerous, but it ended up being kind of funny ultimately, because I started to believe that I was Naruto, even though I've never really watched Naruto properly. I've only watched the first 7 or 8 episodes. But I was yelling things about Sasuke, and I was eating noodles. I was eating ramen, so it was appropriate. It's kind of a story that lives in infamy, just because I was very far gone, and I'd never been in that position before, so there was a memorable experience. What are you doing, mozzarella? Oh, do you remember it? You weren't even alive back then. It's also one of those cons I always cry when I leave, and I talked about the Youmacon story when I would cry, when I cried leaving Team 4-Star behind, not knowing if I would see them again. Here's mozzarella. Speaking of crying, but after a while, it was easier and easier to leave Youmacon. I wouldn't get too upset, because it got to the point where, you know, I felt like I've been there enough times, and I know Team 4-Star, and I see them at enough cons that I know that I'm going to see them again. I'm not going to lose that experience. But I cry every time I leave Alcon, no matter what, without fail. I cry, because it's rare that I get to go to England, and they give me that opportunity to see my friends and my family, and not many people get to do that. And I'm very blessed with that. I'm very blessed with that opportunity to get to do that when so few other people would. And I'm blessed to know the people that I do. I'm blessed to have the friends that I have and the family that I have, and it's hard to let go of them, even temporarily. But the good news is they're still there, and I love them. And I can't wait to see them again this year in September. If you're interested in coming to Alcon in Leicester, it's in September in Leicester, and it's in England, and it's a really fun time. I highly recommend it. What's up? I'll put the URL for the convention in the description. Thank you, mozzarella. You're reminding me of all these things. What? She's scratching at my chair now. Come here. You're an attention seeker, aren't you? Aren't you? You're an attention seeker. Can you hear her purring? Say something. Zah. Oh. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You want to go down? Discouragement is something that we deal with often, you know, to varying degrees, and it's something we do. Unfortunately, I've been guilty of discouraging people from from doing things that they're passionate about. I've done it for no other reason than because I guess I'm sometimes jealous or spiteful that, if I'll be honest, I'll be 100% honest. When I started doing the abridging thing and other people started to do it too, I had the mindset, why are they doing my thing? Which is ridiculous. In hindsight, it's absolutely childish, and it was very short-lived. I was initially, I wanted to be like, well, look, I'm doing this thing. Can you not do your own thing? When ultimately I'm making fun of Yu-Gi-Oh, and who hasn't done that at some point in their lives? Discouragement and it's an obstacle you have to deal with a lot. Especially if, like me, you go online and you talk to people online and you go on forums and you see a lot of people have negative attitudes on the internet. And because of the anonymity, it gives them the power to try and take away whatever, positive feeling you might be having at the time. It's hard not to be discouraged when you're depressed. It really is. Depression makes you more likely to listen to people when they tell you that you're no good and that you're wasting your time. In fact, you often tell yourself that. You'll discourage yourself from doing a lot of things. And that's really bad, because you've got enough obstacles in your way, and having your own mind and your own thoughts be an obstacle too that you have to contend with is certainly not helpful. It's a bit of a hindrance. If you have your mind set on something, you shouldn't let anybody else certainly tell you whether that's something you should or should not be doing. If you want to actualize something about yourself, or if you want to take something that you're really enthusiastic about or passionate about, you should never let anybody else tell you, well, you're wasting your time because this is how I feel. Some people discouraged me from pursuing voice acting, and there were people who discouraged me and Mariana from being in a relationship because it was long distance. And yes, there are flaws, and if I came to the conclusion on my own, looking at the evidence, that it was something that was going to be ultimately fruitless, that's a different thing altogether. But having somebody else tell you your business, or having somebody else tell you, what is or is not a worthy investment of your time and energy, unless they have some huge stake in your future, there's no reason to listen to them. And by the same token, there's no reason to listen to that voice in your head that tells you you're no good, because it's wrong. It's completely wrong. It's trying to turn you into something that you're not. It's trying to twist your own image of yourself. It's trying to make you look in the mirror and be like, well, that guy, I hate that guy. I've had that feeling. I had that feeling this morning, actually. I looked in the mirror and was like, I hate that guy that I see looking back at me. But you have to try and turn that around. You have to try and make yourself... Hello, kitty. Do you know anything about this? You have to try and... somebody in therapy told me that it was something, a good exercise to do was to look at yourself in the mirror and say, you're awesome. You're really cool. You're the bomb, man. You're the best. And it sounds ridiculous. It really does. But here's the thing. The more you tell yourself that sort of thing, and the more you say it, the more of a routine it becomes, you'll start to believe it. I've done that on occasion, and I've done it. I try as often as I can to encourage myself and to really pick myself up where I feel like I'm failing. And especially lately, I've tried really hard not to listen to that voice that is there all the time. And it's the thing is that the negative voice often seems extremely loud, but there's still a positive part of you in there. It's just quieter, and you just have to listen for it. You can't let yourself be discouraged at all, by any outside elements or anything from within you. You have to believe in what you're doing. If you do believe in what you're doing, you can't let this feeling, this depression, take it from you, because ultimately nothing can take it from you unless you give it to them. I've said multiple times, depression isn't more powerful than you. It's a big part of you if you have it, but it's not bigger than you. But the more you give it, the more power it gets, and the harder it becomes to deal with it. So if you're doing something that you feel, especially if it's something you feel you want to do for the rest of your life, don't let that voice take it from you. Don't let anybody take it from you. You know, if there's something you're passionate about, it may not be something that can make you money, and people will tell you, look, stop wasting your time. This isn't going to be a career for you. This isn't something you're even very good at. Stop doing it. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to those people, because they have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, because they're not you. And if it's something that you love, if you love doing that thing, do it. If it's not hurting anybody, if it's something that makes you happy, please keep doing it, because there's no reason not to. Even if it's not something that, like I said, if it's not making you money, do it in your spare time. Do it when you need to do it. Do it when you're feeling down and when you feel like you need to do it. Do it when you feel like you have nothing else. But don't let anybody take it from you. Don't let anybody take that away from you. Because if I had let people take that from me, if I'd let myself give up, I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't. And it's, you know, maybe it isn't to the same extent for you. Maybe it's not to the same extreme, but don't let someone close a path that you want to go down. You should choose not to go down it if it's something you ultimately don't want to do. If you can change direction at any point in your life, there are people who have, you know, become the people that they need to be when they're in the Middle Ages. Middle Ages. I mean, when they're middle-aged, back in the 1500s or whatever. But, hello. Leaving? Where you going? Don't let anybody close a door that you want to leave open for yourself, because you can come back to it. You know, if it's something that you need to put off, if you need to do something else first and then get to it, that doesn't mean it's not there anymore. And you shouldn't let anybody make you think that it's not there anymore for you, because it will be there. And you deserve to have that. You deserve to keep your options open and to want to do something and to do that thing that you want to do. And don't let anybody make you believe that you don't want to do it, because they don't know. They're not you, and they just want to dictate your life, or they want to tell you where to go and what to do, and they want to tell you what the shape your life is going to take is. But nobody knows that. Not even we know that for sure. So if you're going to go into it blind, at least trust your instincts and don't trust somebody else's. So yeah, don't be discouraged, and try not to discourage other people. It's very tempting sometimes to discourage other people from doing something because, you know, you're jealous, or because you just don't like seeing somebody succeed at something that you wish you could succeed at, or just because, like, sometimes we just have that feeling just because it'll be funny or something. But don't, because it's more damaging than you realize. And nobody deserves to have their passion taken away, because that's what leads to things like this. But yeah, don't be discouraged. You'll be all right. You'll plow ahead, and one day, even if you're not the most amazing person at the thing that you want to do, that you enjoy doing, it's fine to be. It's fine if you love drawing, if you are ultimately not an amazing artist, if you're not Picasso, if you're not even featured on like the front page of DeviantArt from time to time. If you like drawing, draw. It doesn't matter if it looks bad. Just do it. Just have a good time. Just make yourself happy. Don't let anybody else tell you you don't deserve that. Right, Mozzarella? She agrees. So yeah, that's another episode out of the way. I actually have a recording session in an hour. No, actually, technically in 3 hours, but I have to leave in an hour because Los Angeles has awful traffic. And I'm going to be sat in that for a while. It's going to be a very lonely experience, but I'm going to bring some music with me and listen to that. Maybe even listen to some podcasts. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately. So, yeah, I hope that you got something out of this. And like I said at the beginning, this show isn't something I intend to stop doing in the near future or ever if I can help it. There probably will be days or weeks where I'm just unable to. Like if I'm in England for a while, I can probably film something and upload it somehow when I'm over there or do it ahead of time. But there may eventually be a week where I can't do this, but I don't want you to let that discourage you. If I'm not here to tell you that you're doing okay, I want you to still believe it about yourself. You know, because I'm not going to be here forever. I'm going to grow old, and you know, eventually mortality will run its course. But I hope that even when I'm gone, that you'll be all right, and that you'll fight more. You'll keep fighting. Because it's a fight worth winning. And you can win. Anyway, I hope you're doing okay. Thank you for watching. If you wish to reach me, you can find me at Yu-Gi-Oh! TAS on Twitter. And for all my other content, please visit team4star.com/LittleKuriboh. I hope you have a great day.